I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous, down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank, I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze, the roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag, I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag, I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket, Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me, elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit, nose diving in the option, woo. Watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead, woo.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to UFC Columbus Best Bet. Going to give the best bet for each and every fight on the card. We do have 13 fights. Cannot wait to break it down. As always, I am here with Wheezy, Narco, and Eric. We'll start with you, Wheezy. Are you looking forward to this card here?
Yeah, man, looking forward to making some money on this card. I got some big bets going down. I'm looking forward to maybe seeing a couple of underdogs cash here. Can't wait to break it down with you guys.
Sounds good. Narco, you looking forward to it?
Of course, I'm always looking forward to it. Giving some winners, cashing tickets. Man, it's going to be a great Saturday. I feel it.
Hopefully we end up in some Lambos by the end of the night. That'd be nice. So we have Eric as well. What is up, Eric? You looking forward to the card?
Yeah, man, I'm feeling good. I won't lie. Sometimes I look at my bets before the card and I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking with some of this, but I'm actually feeling pretty good about the slate today. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. Before we get started, if you guys can all please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. I did link the channels to Wheezy, Narco, Eric, and MMA Engine down in the description. Go sub to them and support them as well. Let's shout out the chat real quick before we get started. We have George, first one in the chat. I see K9 in there. Mike in the chat. Ash as well. Debo in the chat. We got Bill, Alex, West Philly, Stellar, Eric. Thank you all so much for hanging out on a Saturday. As always, Cole in the chat as well. Owen, Quaver, Paul, and SB. If y'all can leave a like, that'd be much appreciated. I say we get right into it, and let us start with the first fight of the night. We have Bruno Souza going against Luis Saldana, and we will start with you, Narco. What are you liking for this first fight of the night here?
Yeah, pretty much it's a stay away fight for me as far as betting is concerned, but I do like this fight to go to decision. I think Bruno Souza is extremely durable. But he doesn't have a lot of finishing upside like Saldana. He's the one with the power here, with the more powerful strikes. But the guy does have a really bad gas tank. So by the third round, he does seem to slow down. But I just don't see how Souza would be finishing him because he's not much of a finisher. And so, based on those two narratives that Souza is durable and he doesn't have much pop, I would take the minus 182 if fight goes to decision.
Yep, sounds good to me. I think it does go to decision, but a play that really stuck out to me was the scorecards equals no action for Saldana. You mentioned it. Saldana, pretty good finisher. He actually has the best finish rate on the entire card at 93%, and then we have Souza, who actually has the worst finish rate on the entire card at only 30%. I think this fight more than likely does go to decision. I think this bet pushes here, but Souza best finish rate, Saldana, or Souza worst finish rate, Saldana the best finish rate. I think if there is a finish, I think it's a better chance than minus 140 that it does come from Saldana there. So give me the scorecards equals no action for Saldana. I think it probably pushes, but if there's a finish, I do like my chances there. Eric, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I would echo much of what you guys said. I also think this fight probably goes to decision. I know a lot has been said about Saldana's gas tank, and he does have a pretty weak gas tank, but I honestly think a big part of what brings that out is if you're actually pressuring him and getting in his face a lot, and I don't think Souza's going to do that. So, I was liking the idea of if you do like a side, betting that side by decision, and I think I would lean Luis Saldana by decision.
Luis Saldana by decision for Eric. It looks like that is coming at about plus 260 Saldana.
Oh, way up there. Wow.
Wheezy, how about you? What do you like for this fight?
Yeah, same thing as you, Brady. I have that bet 1.4 units on the finish only prop for Luis Saldana. A 93% finish rate and 15 professional wins by Saldana. That's 14 of 15 wins inside the distance. And Bruno Sosa, like we said, only has finished 3 of his 10 wins. So I think if there is a finish, it's going to come from the Saldana side. And if there's no finish, then it's just a push. And, I really didn't want to be invested in this fight anyway. So that's the way I went here. 1.4 units on that finish only prop for Saldana.
Yep, sounds good right there with you. Let's move on to the next fight of the night. I'm really looking forward to this one. We have David Dvorak going against Matthias Nikolao. Eric, we'll start with you. What do you like on this fight here?
Oops, I got the wrong one pulled up. Just one second.
No,
yeah, this was one of the fights where, I had a hard time feeling like I had a strong read. I was kind of leaning toward Nikolao, thinking, well, maybe he can get his wrestling going here. And in the end, I ended up kind of deciding that I don't know that Nikolao will be able to get his wrestling going. And I think, Dvorak I think he's just going to be the more physical guy, the more powerful guy. He hits really hard. He's a good striker. I ended up deciding on just going with David Dvorak's money line, I think, if I was going to bet it.
David Dvorak, I see him minus 120. For me, I think this is a very, very close and competitive fight. I think on the feet, I probably slightly favor Dvorak, but I think it's very competitive. And I think Nikolao could potentially have some success on the mat. But I think I'm going to take the safe route here. I'm going to go with the fight goes to decision at minus 180. I really don't have a strong read on who's going to win it, but I think this fight does go to decision. I think it is competitive. Give me the minus 180 and the fight goes here. Weezy, what are you looking at for this fight?
I'm looking at copping out. And whenever I can't figure out who's going to win a fight, what do I do when I think it's going to decision? Draw, baby. 66-1. Let's root for a yam bag shot, a fence grab, maybe a 10-8 round, maybe just a really bad ref, or maybe just a really dumbass judge. Let's get that 66-1, put just a little bit of money on it, because I can't figure out who's going to win this fight. I think it's probably the closest fight on the card, so I'm just going to say draw.
It is a very, very close fight. 66-1. Let's see if it hits, Wheezy. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a close fight. Both guys are pretty durable. Dvorak probably has more power here, but I do like the grappling of Nikolao a little better here. But yeah, fight goes to decision is minus 180. If you want to get a little sneaky, because I do believe this fight is going to be extremely close. Each fighter to win by split decision is 700 and 900. So,
oh wow, what's the fight to end in split decision as a whole?
365.
360. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think this fight goes to decision. I think it's close. That's not a bad bet at all, in my opinion. Let's keep moving on. We have a good fight here. Manon Fiorot going against Jennifer Maia. Eric, we will stick with you here. What do you like for this fight?
This is honestly probably my most confident read on this card. I really, really like Manon Fiorot to win here. The argument that you hear about Jennifer Maia over and over again every time we break down one of her fights is people like, well, what if she goes to her wrestling? And the thing is, she doesn't go to her wrestling. I think she's got 0.25 takedowns per 15 minutes. She's had 8 fights and 2 takedowns, I believe. And honestly, even if she does choose to go to her wrestling here, I'm not necessarily convinced that she's going to have success with it. I honestly think Fiorot is going to have it all over her everywhere. I'm not sure. I didn't look at the lines again right before the show here. I'm not sure what her line is up to now. I did use her as a parlay piece. She might be at a spot now where that's not the greatest. So I maybe look at Fiorot. Maybe look at Fiorot by decision or Fiorot inside the distance if you think that's likely. Because I don't know if her line is playable anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely getting up there. Yeah, somebody got really mad at me this week because I said Jennifer Maia is not going to wrestle, and Jennifer Maia literally has shot 6 takedowns. I think 24 rounds of MMA in the UFC. So yeah, I don't think she shoots takedowns. I think she should, but we say it each and every time she fights. It's just not going to happen. I think it'd be smart, but you can't really expect that. I think Fiorot wins here. I think it looks a little bit more competitive than the line does indicate. I think the minus 415, minus 475 on DraftKings is kind of nuts, but I do think Manon Fiorot wins. I will say Jennifer Maia, very, very tough. 28 professional fights, only been knocked out once, never been knocked out in the UFC. I think she's tough enough to eat some shots from Manon here. I like Manon Fiorot to win by decision. I like the minus 120 still on FanDuel. I saw BetOnline has pushed it to minus 150, but I like that minus 120 there for a decision. Wheezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I'm not touching this one, man. I cannot tell you that I would, sign off on putting Manon Fiorot in your parlays at minus 450. But I think if I had to bet something in this fight, I would bet Fiorot by decision. But this line is so blown out, and I just don't see any reason to take the other side either in in Maya. So yeah, I'm going to stay away from this one. If you had to bet it, I would say Firo by decision.
Sounds good. Narco, what do you like over this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on everything. Maya, she doesn't wrestle much. Bigger cage here, which is something to take into account, which is going to favor Firo. The only thing is, there is some narrative out there. I don't know if you guys know about it. It just seemed like Firo on the scales seemed to be favoring her left side, whether it was walking up the stairs or stepping on the scale. Something was going on. I am not sure. But yeah, I mean, Firo by decision is -120. I don't think she finishes Maya. Maya is extremely durable, extremely tough. And, I'm not even touching that Maya side. Like, the girl just does not do what she's supposed to do. And you saw it in the Caitlin Chukagian fight in a smaller ring, I believe. So, yeah, Furo should easily win here.
Yeah, if I knew for a fact that Maya was going to come in here and wrestle for 15 minutes, I mean, I might take a shot on that plus 350 there, but you just can't count on it with Maya. Let's move on to the next fight. We have the biggest favorite on the card. We have Kizriev going against Denise Toliwin. We'll start with you, Weezy. I know this is your ass shaving of the week, so let's hear it. What do you got for this fight?
Yeah, I mean, I bet 5 units on Kizriev earlier in the week at -325. It's -900 right now. It's unbettable here. The only prop that has any juice at all is Kizriev by KO. That's the only one that I could sign off on at these current levels here, but it's unbettable at this line. But Kizriev should absolutely destroy this guy.
Yeah, it's really tough finding a spot when you have a guy that's over -100 here, but actually or -1000. But I did find a spot that I do somewhat like. It's going to be the Kizriev double chance on FanDuel, KO or decision at +150. I mean, the guy's literally -1000 here. And you take a look at his wins. He has 5 by knockout, he has 5 by decision, and he has 3 by submission. So I think there's a very good chance he does sub him, but you're getting +150 here for that double chance. And I wouldn't be shocked if Kizriev won a decision. I mean, the bookmakers are acting like this guy is like 1 round of cardio or has never won a decision. This guy's won 5 decisions, and the fight doesn't go is like -750. Like that's crazy to me. I can very well see this going to decision, but I think Kizriev probably stops him at some point in this fight here. Give me the Kizriev double chance, KO or decision. I'm hoping he doesn't sub him, but we'll see what happens. Eric, what do you like over this fight here?
Yeah, this is definitely one of those, like you said, it was a lot easier to recommend bets on this fight earlier in the week. It's gotten to the point now where the lines are, it's just tough to know what to do with it. And my books didn't really have props on this one. I didn't look today if they released anything, but my books didn't really have much to go with. So as far as like inside the distance, KO, sub props, that kind of thing, I ended up getting to a point where just with where the numbers were, where I would have potentially looked at Tululin by KO in round 1, something like that. If those things even existed, they didn't on my books. But yeah, I would probably end up having to settle on Kizriev sub or Kizriev KO, but the numbers weren't great on those either. But yeah, it got to a point where I didn't know what to do with this one.
Yeah, it looks like Kizriev by submission -115, and then Kizriev by KO is +250. Now some money's came in on that. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, I mean, I had written down +320 KO, which I thought had a lot of value. It's down to 250 now. I just don't understand the difference between why there's such a huge gap between the sub line and the KO line. The guy has more KOs than subs. He has a really nasty ground and pound. The one thing I will tell everybody, and it's a big like question mark, like this guy's fought once in 4 years, guys. Like I'm not laying -1,000, -900 on a guy that's fought once in 4 years, fought really low-level opposition, to be honest. And, when I look at Dennis, his tape is not good. His takedown defense is not very good, so he's getting grounded here. But comparing Kizriev to somebody he's fought is Ikram Aliskerov, who's a really good grappler. He's a very good prospect. His only loss is to Kazmat. And he survived 3 rounds there up until he got him, and he was grounded for a lot of that fight. So, I mean, he's working to get up. He's not like some slot. I don't understand the -1,000, honestly, and this line's completely blown out. I played Dennis at +775, which I think is an auto bet at this point because there is question marks with this Kizriev guy because let me tell you, you haven't fought in one time in 4 years. You fought low-level opposition, and now you're -1,000. Why? I mean, I don't know, but The KO line is probably the best prop here at plus 250. I think if he gets him grounded, he has really nasty ground pound. So plus 250, I think, is the play here for the best bet.
Yep, sounds good. And yeah, I'm with you. It doesn't make much sense. You have the submission there at like minus 120, and then the KO at like plus. It was like plus 340 on the week there. So, dope space cowboy. We've not seen in a while, but he used to bring these songs, and he has one here. He says, "Every bet you make, every ass you shave, I'll be watching you." I don't want to sing it, but I love the lyrics there. Weezy, how you feel about that?
Yeah, man, that's the old Police song right there. Every breath you take, and there are going to be some asses shaved today. I hope one of them is Dennis Tialula, otherwise your Uncle Weezy's going to be homeless, my friend. So let's just hope that one comes through for me, and then we'll keep moving on here. Dope Space Cowboy, though, always with the great song lyrics.
Shout out to Dope Space. That's probably my favorite one there. I like that one. But we'll move on to the next fight. We have Chris Gutierrez going against Dana Bakkerel. We'll start with you, Narco. What do you like for this fight here?
Another really close fight. Batgarel, a lot of power, good hands, really nice hands. But Gutierrez, he is defensively responsible. He does seem to skirt around the cage. It's a bigger cage. He's got the leg kicks here. He's got really nasty calf kicks that are going to be there for him in this fight. Gutierrez decision plus 230. When you look at this guy, Gutierrez, like that's all he does is go to decision. You're getting a nice price tag at plus 230, like I said, and this guy's been to decision multiple times. I mean, here's one stat that's absolutely crazy that I played, and I'll give it out. It's 22 fights this guy has. 6 of them have gone to split or majority decision. Play that majority decision split line because it's a really, really nice price tag, and that's all this guy does is fight close. So, yeah, I mean, Gutierrez decision plus 230 is a no-brainer for me here.
Yep, sounds good to me. I'm going kind of the same way. I'm going to take the fight goes to decision at minus 104. It looks like it did open up plus 108, but I think this fight does have a really good chance of going to decision. I know that, Dana has a ton of power, and if there is a finish, it's going to come from the Dana side and probably early on. But, Chris Gutierrez is very, very tough, never been knocked out, and I really do not see Chris Gutierrez finishing Dana with leg kicks or nothing like that. So I think the fight goes to decision is pretty good. I think the over 2.5 minus 135 is pretty good as well. I think this does go to decision. I think it's very competitive, but give me that minus 104 for the fight goes. Weezy, what are you liking in this one here?
I like the Batgarel money line at minus 130. That feels like the safest bet to me here. We know what Gutierrez is good at. We know that he's got vicious low leg kicks, but Batgarel is a guy who's going to be heavy on that lead leg because he does throw his hands and he throws them with power. But I get this feeling that every time one of those low leg kicks comes Chris's way, there's going to be a big overhand right going the way of Gutierrez. And I think he lands 1 or 2 of those. It's going to change this fight. So I'm going to go with that Batgarel money line. Just say minus 130. Look for a knockout or a decision win.
Sounds good. Weezy on the Dana money line. Eric, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I don't mind potentially looking to go with the trend and looking to bet Batgary by KO or even Batgary by KO in round 1. What does he have? 3 in a row in round 1? Like, why not stick with the trend there? But I actually did in the end up putting a little on Chris Gutierrez's money line. And that was largely because I pretty much capped this fight at 50-50 or pretty close to 50-50. And I was like, well, plus 135 on either guy when I'm thinking it's going to be split right down the middle. I decided to go for it. I think there's a decent possibility that Gutierrez is able to, keep moving and kind of get around to that power and land those leg kicks. But yeah, I do think the fight probably goes to decision, and I lean Gutierrez to take it.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a close fight. And like Narco said, I think the split decision props on either guy are probably very live here if this does go to decision. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Karol Rosa going against Sarah McMahon. Weezy, we'll let you kick this one off. What do you like for this fight here?
So I don't have a bet. Well, I do have a bet on this fight. I've got a 4-leg parlay going where I've got it's pretty greasy. And one of the legs is McMahon by submission or decision at plus 240. But right now, this line, there's a lot of money still coming in on Rosa here. I would recommend that you just wait until you get plus 200 on the Sarah McMahon money line and bet a half unit on it. If you lose, it's only a half unit loss, but I'm telling you, she's going to take down Karol Rosa, and she's going to win minutes on the ground in this fight. So I really think that this is going to be interesting to see how Hossa deals with the ground game of McMahon, how she deals with the offensive wrestling of McMahon. When you look at the women that have submitted Sarah McMahon and beaten her, I don't know if Carol Hossa is on any of their levels except for Marion Renault. So I'm going to bet Sarah McMahon here, and I think at plus 200 for a half unit, it's definitely worth a sprinkle. She can absolutely win minutes on the ground in this fight.
Yeah, we have breaking news. Looks like the Latifi fight is off. The Latifi fight is canceled. I don't get to say it's going to be a draw, sadly.
Man. I wanted to see if the gravitational pull of Ilir Latifi's head actually ended Alexei Oleinik's career, but we're not going to get to find out. My God.
Does anyone in the chat know why it got pulled off? Was it because Oleinik was too old? I don't understand. Maybe like a COVID thing?
Dude, Latifi's head is so big, it could have had something to do with that.
Oh, it's terrible. All right, so we'll keep going here. So for me, I'm gonna go with the fight doesn't go to decision. I got it at plus 130. It hasn't moved much, and I didn't really expect it to, but yeah, plus 125 here for the fight doesn't go. I see finishing potential on both sides. I know it's a women's fight, but we have McMahon, who's been finishing all but one of her losses. Same thing with Rosa, finishing all but one of her losses, twice by submission. Those submission losses both came back in, I believe, 2018. I think McMahon could potentially be live for an early submission. And then I think Rosa could be live for a late finish as well. We have seen McMahon slow down as the fight goes on. So kind of covering both sides. I think the Rosa, third round props live. I see a lot of people on that, and rightfully so, because I do think McMahon's going to have success early and then kind of slow down and probably eventually get finished. And then also I'm going to be looking at this from a live betting standpoint. I think McMahon has a very, very good chance actually to win the first round. And I'm curious to see where they do line it going into that second round. So something to be looking out for there. But official pick here is going to be the fight doesn't go at plus money, plus 125. I think somebody does get finished here one way or another. Narco, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, first off, the loss of that fight is our gain because we don't want to watch that garbage fight between Latifi and Oleinik. But moving on to this fight, there's actually a lot I like here, man. I like the under here at plus 155. McMahon is 41 years old. She has really good wrestling. All that is really well, but her cardio is not good at all. And the older she's getting, the worse it's getting. Hossa's going to be dangerous off her back here. She's a black belt. You look at how McMahon gets subbed, and it's all arm bars and triangles. And the two wins that she has by submission, Carol Hossa, are by arm bar and triangle. So, that's live there at plus 460. I mean, honestly, my favorite bet is Hossa KO 2-3 at plus 1,000. You can get that only on FanDuel, so I didn't really want to give that one out. But I like the under. I think this fight ends one way or another. I think McMahon's going to be dangerous on top, but she can also get subbed while she's on top. So give me the under at plus 155.
Sounds good. I like it. Eric, what do you like over this fight?
Well, since your draw got taken away from you, Brady, come on a journey with me, everyone. So the fight starts. Sarah McMahon. She has success with her wrestling in round one. She wins round one, 10-9. She comes out. She has success with her wrestling early in round two. She's starting to fade in round two, but she wins enough of the round to take it on the judges' scorecards. Now it's 2018 going into round three, and Sarah McMahon falls off a cliff. Carol Hossa is beating the hell out of her because she can't quite find the finish. She gets a 10-8. We got a draw, and I'm pocketing a plus 6,600 bet. Let's do it, folks.
Let's go. Plus 6,600 on the draw. Hey, I like it. Since my draw did get canceled, then I might have to sprinkle some on that because I can definitely see that as well. I know somebody else in the chat earlier, I think it was maybe PayPal, who said, this could be a draw, and I kind of agree. It very well could be. I like the analysis there. We'll keep moving on. We have Neil Magny going against Max Griffin. Narco, we'll start with you. What do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I like Max Griffin here. Max Griffin by decision is plus 500. I'm probably out on an island because I know almost everybody likes Magny. I'm going to give a great stat that was given out yesterday by Luke from Sparring with Reality. I didn't even know this prior to my bet, but Griffin has fought 12 times in the UFC. He's always won a minimum of one round in every one of his fights other than the Colby Covington fight. I think that's huge because the way Magny fights, right? Magny's always skirting around the cage. He's not throwing hard shots. He does throw a lot of volume, but it's not with power. So the optics are not great. Max Griffin, on the other hand, is coming forwards. He's throwing hard shots. He's throwing those leg kicks. You know, Max Griffin decision plus 500. Like, this guy's always won one round in 11 out of his 12 fights in the UFC. It's a great line. I mean, Magny might win, but plus 500 by decision is a very good line here.
It is a very, very juicy line. Eric, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I was in a little bit of a daze there listening to Narco, because I was like, damn, a lot of what he's saying makes a lot of sense here. But yeah, I did bet Neil Magny's money line. I got him when he was at like minus 205. I know he's up a little higher than that now, but my basic read was I think that Magny he's so skilled everywhere, and he's such a veteran and has great fight IQ that I think if things aren't going well for him in any phase of the game, if he is getting outboxed, if he's getting pieced up a little bit, I think he's got both the skills and the fight IQ to understand that it's not going well and to take the fight somewhere else. So yeah, I like the well-rounded skills and just kind of the veteran savvy and fight IQ of Neil Magny to be able to get it done and find a decision here.
Sounds good. Wheezy, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I've got the Magny decision in my 4-leg greasy parlay at like minus 110. He's a great minute winner. The nice long straight punches, the great movement, the ability to win minutes on the cage. But, I mean, everything that Narco said makes a whole lot of sense. And when you think that this might be a close fight and Magny is minus 110 by decision and like Griffin's plus 500, I would say that there's a lot of value on that Griffin decision line as well. But I think this goes to decision. I really do think Magny gets the win. And so that's the bet for me. It's going to be minus 110 Magny by decision.
Yeah, I went with the same thing, minus 120 Magny by decision there. Like you mentioned, he's minus 250 on the money line. I see a minus 275. I see a minus 290 even. And he's minus 120 to win by decision. I don't see him finishing anybody, especially guy as tough as Max Griffin. So if I was to play this, it would be the Magny by decision, get a little bit better of a number there. We'll move on to the next fight. We have Mark Diakase going against Borshev. We'll start with you, Easy. What are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, so I've got a bet on Diakase that I got at plus 170 late Sunday night. I got in on that. I think that Diakase's got a lot of advantages in this fight. He's actually the younger guy. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. He's got 12 more professional fights, 8 more UFC level fights. He's a great kickboxer, just like Borshev is, but he also mixes in wrestling and is able to win minutes on the ground, 16 takedowns in 10 UFC fights on 45 attempts. So he's fought the better level of competition. There's a lot of things to like about Diakase here. However, the line now, it makes a whole lot more sense. So I think that, Borshev at this price is actually right about where he should be, right around minus 140. The bet for me, though, was Diakase plus 170. So I'm just going to say Diakase's money line.
Diakase's money line for Wheezy, it's currently plus 134. I'm going to go with the Diakase by decision. It was something I've been kind of eyeing all week. It's currently sitting at plus 400 there. I think it's a very, very competitive fight. I think it's competitive on the feet. I actually do slightly give the advantage to Borshev on the feet, but I also feel like Diakase can mix in takedowns. And what I will say is Borshev has some of the worst takedown defense I've ever seen, but he has a phenomenal get-up game. It's elite. I think Diakase can mix in takedowns, make this very close, and I think it does go to decision. Give me the plus 400 there for Diakase by decision, but I feel like this fight really could go either way. Eric, what do you like him for this fight here?
Yeah, Wheezy mentioned that plus 170 that he got on Diakase. That's what he was at when I finished tape on this fight. I finished the tape. I pulled up the odds. I saw Diakase at plus 170. I just about bet that. And then like I don't really have a don't bet on fighters pile, but Diakase is kind of one of those guys for me. I liked the plus 170, but I was like, I don't know if I trust it, but I do think that was a good line. I do think this fight probably plays out pretty closely. I really like that Diakase by decision. You said that was plus 400, I think, Brady.
Yep.
Yeah, if I was going to bet it, I think I'd go with that one because I do think this fight probably plays out closely if Diakase does decide to use his wrestling. And I think, not like he's out of sorts on the feet as well. So yeah, I think Diakase decision plus 400 that's a really good bet.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good there. Narco, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, this fight has recency bias all over it, man. Diakase last time out against Alves gets kneed in the face, hurt, and Alves jumps on a guillotine, which Alves, I'm a little higher than other people R on him, and the guy's extremely dangerous in the first round. But the one thing I'll say here is Borishev has fought absolutely nobody. Borishev has been hurt against Kenley St. Louis in the regionals. He got hurt last time out against Dakota Bush. Why is this guy favored here? Like, Jacasey he fought Alves in a 15-minute kickboxing fight, and Alves is an extremely dangerous striker. I mean, those body kicks that he was eating from Alves was crazy. So, I mean, Jacasey at plus money here, plus 125. I got him at plus 165, but any plus money here on Jacasey, I think, is good. And you're, the decision I do like. I just think Borishev's cardio kind of sucks, and Jacasey showed me actually very good cardio in that Fiziev fight where he won the third round there. So that's the only pause I have with the decision prop, because I think he can finish Borishev late.
What's the Casey third round prop at,
Plus 1900. I played that.
Oh my goodness. That's really juicy. Plus 9. I wasn't expecting that. There you go. And yeah, people in the chat, I can confirm that the fight is indeed off. So we'll move on to the next fight. Oleinik Latifi is off. We have Askar Askarov going against Kai Kara-France. We'll start with you, Weezy. What do you like over this fight here?
Yeah, this is an interesting one, man. I looked at the knockout prop for Kai Kara-France sitting at plus 800, and I was like, oh boy, that's his path here. But I really do. I mean, I'm a fan of this Askarov, and his wrestling and submission game are both next level. I think the plus 800 for the knockout prop for Kai Kara-France is pretty cheeky. If you're looking for something high upside that actually has a chance of hitting, that's fun. But I think if you're really looking to cash something, go with that Askarov by sub. It's sitting around plus 300, and it just feels like we've seen Kai Kara-France lose 5 of his 9 career losses are inside the distance, and 3 of them are by submission. And I believe over half of Askarov's pro wins are by submission. So, I think it's the Askarov by sub is probably something that has a little bit of juice here and has a really good chance of hitting.
Yeah, I like that Askarov sub as well. I can't believe that price on it, plus 360. I think he's going to be able to, grapple with France, and I think the submission is going to be very live. I also don't hate the double chance for Askarov. He's sitting around minus 425, minus 450. I think I saw the double chance on FanDuel at like minus 250 for the either decision or sub. I think those are his 2 most likely scenario wins. So give me that double chance there, and then also the plus 360. I think it's worth a sprinkle for sure. Eric, what do you like for this fight?
Yeah, I did use Askarov as a parlay piece earlier in the week. You could still do that, I guess. The line's a little bit blown up now, but I do think Askarov probably wins here. I also do like that Askarov by sub. I had been looking at the Kai Kara-France KO prop that Weezy was mentioning. I thought about sprinkling a little bit on that. In the end, I didn't. In the end, I ended up deciding that I don't feel like that's particularly likely. I think Askarov probably controls the fight pretty comfortably here, and I do like him to potentially find a sub, so that plus 300 looks pretty good to me.
There we go. I like it. Narco, what do you like for this fight?
My God. I mean, one of my favorite bets of the card is a plus 360, guys. It's the submission for Askarov. Here's the thing. If Askarov doesn't fight the 4 guys he previously fought in the UFC that he went to decision, this line's much, much shorter. It's Brandon Moreno, Tim Elliott, Alexander Pantoja, and Joseph Benavidez, all awesome grapplers. You know what kind of step down this is in his grappling realm against Kai Kara-France? Like, immense. And this guy has a very, very good submission game. If you watch his regional tape, he's very slick on the ground. He got 5 takedowns against Benavidez. If you told me anybody could get 5 takedowns against Benavidez, I wouldn't believe you. But the guy is, incredible, has incredible wrestling, very good submission game. Kai Kara-France is not that good on the ground. And Bontarin had his back, almost submitted him. But if he doesn't, gas out, he might actually submit him. But you know what? Askarov, I just think, is a very cerebral fighter. He knows where he can win this pretty easily, and it's on the ground. And I think he gets the submission rather easily here.
Yeah, plus 360 is pretty nuts. I was not expecting that price tag. So we'll see if that hits. I think it's a very, very good look. I'll move on to the next fight. We have Brian Barbarina going against Matt Brown. I'll start this one off. I'll keep it kind of short here. I do like the fight doesn't go to decision at minus 186. I don't like it enough to place a bet on it. But yeah, FanDuel does have the best price there at -186. I see -210 on Bet Online there. I think both guys have finishing upside. Matt Brown and Brown a 91% finish rate. Barbarina, I think his durability is diminishing a little bit, and Matt Brown's been finished like 13 times in his career or something like that. So I think this fight does finish more often than not. If I had to play something, it would be that -186, but I don't love it enough to go and bet it. But that's probably what I'd do if I had to bet this fight. Weezy, what do you like it for this one?
I'm just going to give you guys the Matt Brown money line. I think there's a good chance that Brown, if he does win, that he gets the finish. But when you look at the difference between the money line and the finish, and then you talk about how durable Brian Barbarina has been in his UFC career, I think that if you're on that Matt Brown side, don't be fooled into taking that finish prop because there's not enough juice on it. Just take that money line at about evens and root for your guy, Matt Brown, to maybe even retire on this win in front of his home crowd here. One of the UFC greats. Dude's never been in a boring fight. Can't wait to see. This fight's going to be the fight of the night, and I can't wait to see it. But the only one that I'm going to give you guys is just the Matt Brown money line here.
Sounds good. Yeah, this fight's going to be awesome. Narco, what do you like it for this one here?
Yeah, kind of similar sentiment to you. I like the fight doesn't start round 3 at -120. That's on DK. Just the way Matt Brown fights, the guy is kill or be killed basically, and he's only been to decision a handful of times. Barbarina, on the other hand, he's pretty durable, but he's also been getting hurt a lot lately, man. I mean, Jason Witt hurt this guy. Imagine me telling you that Jason Witt rocked this guy really bad. Imagine if Matt Brown lands on him. So I kind of think like after those 3rd round knockouts that he got to Vincent De Luque and Randy Brown, I feel like his his durability is kind of waning, and I think here against Matt Brown, it's not good to have your durability waning here. So fight doesn't go to round 3, -120 is a good bet.
Yeah, I like it. Eric, how about you? What do you like it for this one?
Yeah, this is pretty much the very definition of a fight where I can't really pick a side, but I do expect violence to go down. And I was able to get in a little early on the fight doesn't go the distance. I got that at -150. I think you said it's -186 now. That's a little steep. I don't know if I'd play it there necessarily or not, but yeah, I do like. I think it's a pretty tough fight to make a call on who's going to win. But I like looking at the under, the doesn't go the distance, potentially doesn't start round 3. Any of those kinds of things are the way to go here, I think.
Yep, I think so as well. Should be a very, very fun fight. We do have 408 of you in here. If y'all can please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. I put the links in the description to all 3 of these guys' channels. Go check them out, and also the link to the MMA Engine channel. I'm going to start doing a ton of new content on there starting in 2 weeks. So next we have the co-main event. We have Alexa Grasso going against Joanne Wood. We'll start with you, Eric. What do you like for this one here?
I like this fight. I think this will be a fun fight. I think it's a fight that could play out pretty closely. Joanne Wood does tend to put out better volume than Grasso. I do think Grasso is going to have the better movement. She's going to be quicker. I think the shots that she's landing are probably going to be landing a little harder and looking a little better to the judges. I do like the fight to go to decision, and I like potentially looking at Alexa Grasso by decision. Last I looked, it was at -115. I'm not sure if that's moved or not, but I think it probably goes to decision, and I like Grasso to take it.
Yeah, that Grasso decision's getting a ton of steam. I see it at -130 now, best price. And yeah, I agree. It's going to be a very close fight, I think. Are the judges going to favor the harder shots of Grasso, or are they going to favor kind of the patter volume of Joanne Calderwood here? I don't know. I think it can go either way, but this price really sticks out to me. The Wood by decision at +420, and I think the split is very live either way in this fight. I see it going to decision. I see it being very close. Maybe Wood can mix in takedowns as well. I'm going to go Wood by decision +420. She's obviously not going to finish Grasso there. I think it's a very interesting price. Narco, what do you think for this one?
Yeah, I honestly have a different, off the wall take here. I know Grasso's never got a submission in her career, and Joanne Wood has been submitted, I think, 4 or 5 times, but against some very high level grapplers. But what Grasso showed me last fight against Macy Barber on the ground, I mean, she was threatening submissions there, really close to getting an arm triangle there, and I honestly think if Joanne Wood decides to grapple here, she's going to be, I think Grasso's going to out-grapple her, first of all. And I think the submission is live at plus 1,200 on BetMGM. I think the line's a little wide. It's not a, highly likely outcome, but, she's probably going to win by decision most likely. But plus 1,200 on BetMGM, I'm going to take a pop on it. You're on mute, Brady.
My bad. I was saying, I hope you're not right because I'm really high in the over this week. But yeah, I do agree. If there's a finish in this fight, I think it comes from Grasso, and I think it comes by submission. So that was my only concern with playing like the overs and the fight goes. Weezy, what do you like for this one here?
So the last leg of my parlay, my greasy 4-legger is Grasso by decision here. Grasso has never finished any of her 5 UFC wins, and Joanne Wood has never been knocked out before. Grasso has only finished her pre-UFC wins by knockout. So I think if Grasso wins this fight, it's probably going to be by decision, and that's a good way to get that line down from the almost minus 300 that she's sitting at to about even. So that's where I'm at.
Sounds good to me. Let us move on to the main event. We have Chris Daukaus going against Curtis Blaydes. We'll start with you, Eric. What do you like for the main event here?
Yeah, I don't think I have any hot takes for you here. The one look at the line kind of indicates how this fight is expected to go, and I think I pretty much agree with it. Daukaus has the way I broke it down in my video this week. I said, if you look at the fighters who have beaten Curtis Blaydes and the way that he has lost in the UFC, I think you can argue that Chris Daukaus is the type of fighter that beats him. I just don't think he's the level of fighter that beats him. I just don't think he quite has it. I think he's going to have the game plan where, he's going to be either looking for that knee or looking for that uppercut that Derek Lewis kept showing him, looking to land something when Blaydes comes in. But I just don't think he's going to be able to do it. I do think Blaydes will get the takedowns here. I think, we don't know much about Daukaus's gas tank or about his heart if it goes late in the fight. I do like Curtis Blaydes to probably find a finish here. I think Curtis Blaydes inside the distance is a pretty good bet. But since we're on the last fight here, and I mean, I already gave out a draw, but I haven't given out like a weird specific sub prop yet. So one thing that I was looking at was Curtis Blaydes by sub in round 3. I know Curtis Blaydes doesn't usually get submissions, but I think we could see Chris Daukaus getting really tired here. We could see them kind of scrambling and rolling and ending up in different positions, and maybe Daukaus is really tired and really out of it, and maybe Blaydes finds his neck. I don't know. So I didn't actually bet that Blaydes by sub in round 3, but I gave it out on my prop show this week as just kind of a crazy one that I like looking at there. But yeah, I like Curtis Blaydes to win inside the distance here.
There you go. I like the crazy call there as well. For me, I mean, this line really sticks out to me. The fight ends by KO minus 200. And the fight doesn't go to decision is currently like minus 300. You mentioned it, Eric. Blaydes 0 submissions. I guess he has 1 submission in his career, but his opponent tapped to strikes. And then Daukaus has 1 submission in his career, but his opponent tapped to strikes. So neither guy has actually gotten an actual submission. Chris Daukaus is a black belt in BJJ. I guess that would be the one thing I'd be concerned about, but I see Blaydes pounding him out second or third round. I think getting the fight ends in KO at minus 200 rather than the fight doesn't go to decision at minus 300, minus 380. I think that's the way to play it there. Narco, what do you like for the main event here?
All right, so I have some more great stats for you guys. Curtis Blaydes, 8 out of his 10 wins inside the distance are in the second and third round. The only ones that he got early were his first 2 fights of his career. So what that tells me is basically Blaydes takes people down kind of early, or he takes his time. He softens you up in the first round and then basically goes for the kill in the second and third rounds, because that's where he's finishing all his people. So Blaydes KO round 2, round 3 is plus 300 on FanDuel. I see basically the same thing. Blaydes here is not going to have a hard time at all taking Daukaus down. I know a lot of people are saying, well, Blaydes didn't finish this guy, didn't finish that guy, but Rosenstrike is tough to finish. Volkov is very tough to finish. It's just a price here that I think, Daukaus, we haven't seen him off his back. I think he was regionally off his back once. He didn't look great, but he's not stopping Curtis Blaydes' takedowns, man. He's getting him down. He's the much heavier guy. It's going to be very hard for him to get up if Blaydes is on top of him. And to be honest, I think he just smashes him eventually. So that Blaydes 2-3 KO at plus 300 is really juicy.
I like it. I like the analysis there as well. Weezy, what do you like for the main event here?
Yeah, I've got a big bet, a 3.6 unit bet at minus 180 on the fight ends in KO. I did that because the fight doesn't go to decision, was sitting at minus 280. And I figured, for Blades, a guy who's never submitted anybody, and for Daukaus, a guy who's won all of his fights inside the distance by knockout. And even better than that, Curtis Blades, 62 takedowns in the UFC, right? And like 54% control time. So that means he spent over 75 minutes on the ground in control time positions in the UFC. How many submissions has he attempted in that time? 0. So a way to get the fight doesn't go to decision for a 5-round heavyweight fight, even better than the current line at minus 280 or minus 300, is to take the fight ends by KO. And then you can also hedge with Daukaus by submission at plus 2,000, which you could put 0.2 units down in order to win 4. So then what you could do is you could bet that fight ends by KO. You can hedge with the Daukaus by sub at plus 2,000, and you're laying down about 4 units to win 2. That's what I'm doing here.
Yeah, plus 2,000 Daukaus sub. I did hedge that KO prop, fight ends in KO at like plus 1,300. Didn't think Daukaus sub would get any better, but yeah, plus 2,000 there. Bill bringing it up. So we have about 10 minutes or so left. If anybody in the chat has any questions, feel free to type them in. We kind of got through it a little bit quicker today, especially considering we did lose a fight. I imagine they're going to push the fight time back a little bit as well. So if you have any questions, I'll kind of scroll up to see if I missed anything in the chat. And then Vince saying, foreigner watching, only 75 likes. Yeah, if we can get 100 likes, that'd be very awesome. Appreciate you guys all hanging out here. And then Robert saying the Latifi fight is canceled. And yes, it has been canceled. It said like non-COVID related injuries or whatever. So it could be anything.
You didn't hear that it was his head got stuck in the Uber? That's what somebody said in the chat earlier, and that sounds more likely.
Yeah, that does sound more likely for sure. Devo saying, is the no action bet on Saldana on FanDuel or DraftKings? Is actually on both those books, and then it's on Bet Online as well. But I think the best line was on Bet Online. We'll give this one to Narco. Narco, what is your best plus money bet on the card?
Best plus money bet for me is Griffin by decision plus 500.
Griffin by decision plus 500. Eric, you have a plus money bet you really like on this card?
I was just looking through my notes trying to figure something out. Even though I bet on Magny, I do like that Griffin by decision at plus 500.
Actually, I take it back. I'm sorry. I actually like the Askarov submission plus 360 a little better.
All right, sounds good. I like it.
I'll take that. I'll take that Daukaus by decision line.
Daukaus, Weezy, you have one you really like this week?
Yeah, I mean, God, I think you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but for me, it's the Sarah McMahon money line at plus 200 is just crazy at this point. I think she can win a lot of minutes wrestling here.
And your cat likes her as well.
yeah, the cat just likes annoying people,
Let's see here. Narco, do you like the Blades fight to not go the distance?
Absolutely. I do.
All right, let's see here. Weezy, what do you think of this parlay? I think it is the over 2.5 in the Saldana, over 2.5 in the Dvorak, over 2.5 in the Magny and Brown fight doesn't go plus 400.
I like that a lot, man. I do see Saldana's fight going to decision. I see all those fights going to decision except for potentially the Brown Barbarina fight. I could easily see that one finishing inside the distance, but Barbarina very durable, so maybe it doesn't. But I at plus 400, that looks pretty good to me.
Tony saying, I missed a man on Maya breakdown. What do y'all think? I believe we were all on the Fioro side, right? Was anybody on Maya? Okay,
yeah,
we're all
Fioro.
on Fioro there. The cats are barking. Yes, they are. Dope Space said, your cat just made my dog go crazy. Everybody's loving the cat. We like it. Let's see if I missed anything here. Saying, Souza inside the distance. Luigi had a bad cut, and he's a gasser. Yeah, Narco was talking about the third round prop for Souza. What was that, Narco?
It was plus 1,900. He's 100% spot on. I watched the weigh-ins. He mentioned something like this guy is already a gasser to begin with, and he had a tough weight cut because he was sweating his ass off when he was on that scale. And the one thing that Souza does have is very, very good cardio. So round 3 prop here is probably good to play. I mean, it might not happen, but you're getting plus 1,900.
Yep. I mean, I think if there is a finish from Souza, it's probably in that third round. Daniel saying, anyone know what happens when Caesars parlay when a fight cancels? I'd imagine it just pushes, but I don't know. I don't have Caesars. Wheezy, what is your lock of the night?
Well, I mean, it was Kizraev, but you don't need me to tell you that. He's minus 1,100. So can we find somebody else a little bit better than that? I mean, lock of the night, how about fight doesn't go to decision for the main event? I just don't see that one going the full 5 rounds. I think somebody's going to get knocked out. So that'd be a good one for me.
Sounds good. Narco, what is your lock of the night?
My lock of the night. Let's see. I would say Furrow by decision at minus 120.
4 by decision. There you go. I like that. Eric, how about you? What is your lock of the night?
Yeah, I would actually pick the same two those guys just said. I was going to say Furo, but also the main event to not go the distance. But yeah, Furo is pretty much my most confident pick on the card. I would say I think she pretty much rolls here.
Yeah, I think so as well. Wheezy, do you have like a 3 or 4 leg parlay? I know your greasy parlay.
Yeah, my greasy parlay was Nikolao fight goes to decision. It was Grasso by decision, Magny by decision, and then the McMahon by submission or decision is plus 1,500. That's eligible for insurance on FanDuel. So if you cash 3 out of the 4 legs, you get a free bet in the amount of the parlay the next week, up to $25. So that's what I did.
Sounds good. PayPal saying, did Wheezy's cat enjoy the movie Cats?
I would have had to have watched the movie Cats at some point with that cat in the room in order to find that out, but I would never watch that fucking piece of shit. So I have no idea if the cat likes it or not, because I would not be in the room if that garbage was on my television.
There you go. I think that's about it for today. Yeah, 12 fights now. We did lose the Latifi Oleinik fight. Unfortunately, honestly, was not looking forward to that one too much. I thought it would be a really sloppy, greasy fight. But yeah, 12 fights should be a good card. We'll kick it around. Wheezy, where can they find you? What do you have going on throughout the week? And I also did link down Wheezy's YouTube channel in the description below. Guys, check it out.
Yeah, you can check me out on my YouTube channel, Uncle Wheezy. I do balls deep breakdowns of fights. I do a main card, or I do a full card breakdown every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock Central Time called Just the Tip with Uncle Wheezy. I'm on Pub Sports Radio twice a week for the DFS show and on Stat Diggers on Sundays, and I'll be on the Pub Sports Radio watch along today, watching these fights, hopefully cashing a ton of tickets with you guys. God bless each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us on a Sunday, and let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Columbus, you guys.
Sounds good. Narco, let the people know where they can find you, what you have going on throughout the week.
Yeah, so it's Narco Cop on Twitter, Narco Cop MMA on YouTube. I just hit over 500 subscribers, so thank you to everybody. And then I always want to thank the chat, because like without them, these shows would not be on. So thank you to each and every one of you. I also am doing an actual on Spaces, on Twitter Spaces. I'm doing a live watch party for the card today. So if you want to jump in there, my Twitter handle is NarcoCop, and yeah, you're more than welcome to jump in and talk about some live bet spots.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun for sure. Yeah, go check out Narco on his Twitter, and then also did link his channel down in the description. Congrats, Narco, on 500 subs. It's awesome. Eric, let everybody know where they can find you, what you have going on throughout the week.
Yeah, you can find me, Eric Bets Fights on Twitter, Eric Bets Fights on YouTube, and Eric_Bets_Fights on Instagram. On YouTube, I do a full card kind of best bets breakdown. I usually have that out by Wednesday. I put out a new show this week, just a quick little thing I'm doing. It's like about 10 minutes long. I'm calling it Big Money Bets. Should be out on either Thursdays or Fridays, where I just kind of go through and talk about some parlays and props that I like. And then, of course, you can find me every Saturday right here. Thanks for being here, everybody.
Nice. Awesome. Go check out Eric. He's doing some great work over there. And you guys can follow me on Twitter, DFS_numbers, Instagram, DFS by the numbers. Leave a like, subscribe here as well. And then also subscribe to the MMA Engine YouTube channel. I put the link in the description below. We're trying to grow that over there. We're going to start adding more content to some of the content we do over there already. So leave a like, subscribe. Good luck. Let's make some money. We'll talk to you guys very soon. Week off next week, but we come back with a banger of a card in UFC 273 in a couple weeks. Good luck, guys. We'll talk to you soon.